That's a great question. I like your interpretation too.
Hellboy is a very tragic hero because he's always denying his nature, his origins, and he's dealing with his identity. But at the end, he's thinks of others before himself. So, what have you learned from him, considering all these qualities?
That's a great question. I like your interpretation too, that he thinks of others before himself, because I think it's true. You know, I struggle with identity myself. I think we all do, right? Like, I'm very curious if what defines me, if it's my emotions or my intellect or my choices, my behavior. And I find that, like, it's an interesting world because I feel like the psyche, which I believe in, I sort of believe in this, you know, ego, id, super ego thing where there's this beast that lives in all of us.
Something that would end mankind.
And this thing you worried about, did it show up?
Oh, yes. You did.
Hellboy is an iconic comic book character from the 90s, and Guillermo del Toro presented us the first film a decade ago or even more. So, and we actually loved this hero, anti-hero.
Yeah.
So, have you ever felt afraid about the idea that it's an iconic character in comic books and in the film?
Yes. The short answer is yes. I think that and the reason what we decided to do was to not try to imitate or not try to be the second string of that thing, because Guillermo is so unique and so interesting. But what we wanted to do was just do our own thing. And so in that way, hopefully, the idea is that you can enjoy both for different things that they illuminate about the comic, which I feel like is very broad. But like in the way that, like, you know, Batman was done by Tim Burton early, the first at least two films were done by Tim Burton, and then Nolan came along and sort of revamped it in a certain way. They're trying to revamp it now with DC as well in different ways. And so in that way, the character itself is so broad that you can highlight different aspects of the character with the different personalities involved.
I'm on your side!
Sorry, my bad.
In the past, you have talked about the time in the makeup chair and the physical challenges for a role like this. There were periods during the filming when you said, "This is way too much for me," or "I'm tired, I can't."
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there was. It's funny because I talked to my makeup artist, Joel, before we started. And, you know, I was nervous because we had to do something like, I think it was 70 applications of the makeup, which is a lot of days of doing that. And when you're in it, it can feel sometimes almost like you're in a coffin or something, because you're completely encased in this thing, and it can get very hot and very uncomfortable and heavy, and you can't, you know, and the weird thing about the latex mask is sweat doesn't drain very well, so it would have to come out through your eyes or through the horns. So there'd be these horrible moments where you'd have to, like, you'd get all hot because you're doing all this physical action. There's something liberating about putting on a mask where you can really be somebody different than yourself, and you can really hide in a certain way, or like reveal in a certain way.